Good morning. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me for today's webinar on everything you need to know about simplifying your lead management and how to better, hopefully, increase your lead response rate and as a result, increase your lead conversion rate. I'm your host, Dan Salcedo. Joining me today as my co-host is Spencer Powell. Let me just go ahead and get him in here for us. And I'm going to share my notes here in just a second. Let me know if you can hear me or not. Just post in the chat if you don't mind. And we'll get going here real quick. So let me just make my slides a little bit bigger here on my screen. There we go. Perfect. Thanks, Spencer, for confirming that you can hear me. Looks like we've got Mohammed in here, Suzanne. How you guys doing? Thanks for joining us. I think I've seen both of you on our other webinars. So I'm glad you guys can also make it to this one. So today we're going to be talking about online leads. So if you don't have online leads, at least hopefully this will inspire you to maybe get online leads. And if you do have online leads, this show is really meant to tell you about how you can better get those leads to respond to you, right? I know with online leads, it can sometimes be a bit of a hit and miss. And that's probably why some people don't buy online leads. Maybe they had a bad experience. But with today's show, I will basically help you figure that out. And there's a big opportunity here, as I'll get to you guys see. I'll get to show you guys in a second here. Give me just a sec. All right, looks like we've got Spencer on a show. Thanks, Spencer. Sorry, a little delay there.
No worries.
All right, so going back to my slide here, with online leads, this graph, the picture we want to paint here is that the longer you wait to respond to your lead, the less likely you're going to be able to get them to answer the phone call, answer your call, let alone qualify them. So if you see on the left-hand side here, these two colored bars, these represent the amount of contacted leads that you get within the first 5 minutes. So you can see it's relatively high for the orange contacted leads number. And then out of those people that you contacted, the green represents the people that you were able to qualify, meaning you were able to make a decision whether they're a hot lead or a cold lead, right? As soon as it gets to 10 minutes though, you can see there's a huge drop off basically. If you got too busy and you didn't get to respond to them right away within those first 5 minutes, and you only got to respond to them within the first 10 minutes instead, you can see that your chances of getting that person to answer your call is less likely, even though it's just quote unquote 5 extra minutes. So that's what we kind of want to paint here, is that speed is the key. We want to make sure that when you're getting an online lead, you want to respond to them right away. So the reality is that leads for these competition, I'm getting my words mixed up. Competition for these leads have increased exponentially. They're not just going to one website, they're going to basically all of them. They're going to Zillow, Realtor.com, some bigger franchises like Keller Williams, they have their own website, Remax, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, blah, 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 blah. And maybe in your area, hopefully you're the one that has that website that people go to, right? If not, there's tons of other realtors that have their own website. So you're competing for the attention online from all these people, especially from those people that are spending extra money, maybe let's say on paid online ads to promote their website where they can look up properties for sale. So what we are seeing though is only half are being responded to. So there's 48% of buyers that have never been responded to. And even if they did get responded to, unfortunately, it's not until basically the next day, 15 hours later, right? Even but the best of times, the most responsive realtors, only 23% of those leads are being responded to within the hour. And if I go back to that graph, even let's say you think you're doing a good job for the first hour where you're responding to them right away, the first hour is represented right here, 60 minutes, right? As you can see, there's no more green bar even after 45 minutes. So the chances of you getting someone at 60 minutes is basically slim to none. So that's probably why a lot of realtors maybe have had a bad experience with online leads is, they don't realize that these online leads, they need that instant gratification, that instant response. So, this slide says time for change. I also like to say time for an opportunity here. Who's going to take advantage of the half of the people that are not being responded to? And if you're in this show, hopefully you will, right? You got the secret information in here that some realtors may not realize with online leads. There's half of online leads are just ripe for you for the picking, basically. Now we understand you guys are busy, right? Realtors, you're always at an appointment. You're always having to create that, perfect marketing material. And you also have a life, right? You need some time off as well from work. So we totally understand the reason why only half of buyers are being responded to. You're very busy, so you just don't get the chance to do that. So this is why we came up with our solution called FiveStreet. It's basically a way for you to get on all those online leads. So you might be buying leads from realtor.com, you might be buying leads from Zillow, you might be getting leads from your own online website. You can funnel them into one single dashboard, our FiveStreet dashboard, to convert all those leads. And because you're funneling them into one dashboard, it's easier for you to manage them because you're not having to learn every single website for each lead provider that you signed up with, right? So especially if you're a part of a team, you don't have to train your other agents. If you're part of a brokerage, if you have an assistant, you don't have to train them on Zillow, realtor.com, all those different websites. Funnel them all into one website, which is our FiveStreet dashboard. And then you just have to train them on one. And it gets even easier than that. Some of our customers don't even log in to their FiveStreet very often. All they do is get the text alert on their phone, and they can basically use their FiveStreet just from the notification that they get, right? We always sometimes get sometimes it surprises us in support here when we get a customer that reaches out to us and says, oh, I forgot to log in. How do I log in to my FiveStreet? And they've had it for like 8 years already, right? It's because they're probably now just taking the chance to go on their laptop and logging into their FiveStreet, where before they reached out to us, they were probably just using FiveStreet just from the text alerts that we were sending them. So it's really, really that easy to adopt into your workflow. And either you're just a mom and pop shop, or you're a solo agent, or you're a large corporation, it really works for you. We have customers that have multiple offices that spread out in multiple cities in the US, to that solo agent that that everyone goes to in their small town, right? So FiveStreet really is designed for any type of realtors, and I'll go into a bit more details and give you a live demo in just a moment here, so you guys can see that for yourself. Now, before we get to that though, I do want to make sure we're all on the same page here as far as what FiveStreet does and doesn't do. FiveStreet is not a lead provider, so we're not going to give you leads ourselves. FiveStreet is where you manage the leads that you get from those third-party lead providers, so Zillow, realtor.com, etc. Once you do get those lead providers, you funnel them into FiveStreet, and basically FiveStreet helps you with that first impression, that initial response. And the biggest impression that you can make with your first impression is the speed that you get back to them, right? And it's especially even more critical if you're part of a team where you're distributing leads to your agents. Some agents are just not as fast, you know, to be brutally honest, right? FiveStreet is gonna allow you to hold them accountable to make sure they are responding to their leads right away. Because if they don't, they're not gonna get that lead. I'll show you guys in a minute what I mean by that. And then lastly, after you make that initial first impression, then that's when you're gonna use a CRM system, customer relationship management system like Top Producer X to continue to build on that first impression and nurture that relationship with them, not just for the short term, but also over the medium and long term, so you can make them as a repeat business, right? It's really hard to get or obtain new business, and this FiveStreet is going to help you with that. But then to keep using that business, it's easier when they're already in your database, and that's when a CRM like Top Producer X would be useful to you guys. So yeah, just want to make sure that you guys know what FiveStreet does and doesn't do. It's very specific to just that initial interaction with your online lead. And just to go into it even more, the inbound workflow works like this. The lead is created from hundreds of third parties, and you can see some of those logos there on the screen. Some of them that I haven't mentioned yet are Market Leader, Zerpal, Trulia, Estately, etc. There's tons of online leads that we get. And then once we get them into your FiveStreet, FiveStreet will automatically send them a text message or an email or both. And that text message that they get, it's not just a generic one that says, thanks for your inquiry, I will get back to you, like a robot, right? No, it's customizable, it's personalized. It'll address them by their name automatically. And it's gonna look, you can make it look like you're the one that's actually finger pecking on your phone to send that text message. Once they get that automated automated response from you, if you're part of a team, the second thing that it's going to do is it's going to distribute that lead to your group of agents. And the way we have it set up by default is it's supposed to send it to all your agents all at the same time. So this is not your traditional lead distribution model where it's everyone gets a turn, everyone takes a turn. Some people refer to that as a round robin type of lead distribution. Basically, before the internet, what happened usually was someone comes into a real estate office through the door, and then each realtor has their own desk. And then that person goes to a realtor whose turn it is at that moment. Right. So, but what if you're out in the field, right? Or if you're busy with another client, then that person will go to another person, and then you just missed out on that opportunity, right? The goal here is to make sure that we cater to an online lead where they're responded to right away, because it doesn't do your group any favor if it's someone else's turn, but that person that's turn it is too busy to respond to them within those first couple of minutes. So with FiveStreet, it blasts out that same lead to everybody, and it's a race. Everybody has to race to their notification and hit the claim button, and that's the only time that lead will be sent to them with the full contact information. So it gives it that friendly competition. And if you're a broker, it gives it that urgency that I'm sure that you guys advocate for all the time whenever you get a lead going into your office. Now, of course, there are other ways you can route or distribute your leads to your team. These are just some examples. For example, you can route it so that if they're inquiring about a particular listing, it will automatically go to that listing agent in your team that's in charge of that listing that's trying to sell that house, right? That just makes sense. So it just skips the whole distribution. It goes to them right away. Another way we can route leads is by area or territory. So like here in Vancouver, it's a pretty big city. There's different suburbs, right? You're not just gonna have everybody sent to a Vancouver team. You can have it set up so that it goes to each suburb or even each neighborhood that you have an office in. It could be just that one person, or it could you'd have like 5 people in that territory that's managing all the leads in there, depending on how much work there is in that territory. So we call that zip code or area routing rules. And then the next example is source. So if they're coming in from a particular source, like they're a Zillow lead or a realtor.com lead, you can set it up so that it goes to specific people on your team or a specific group of people on your team that's just in charge of that lead source, right? So this could be useful if, let's say, you get a lot of Zillow leads, and I don't know if anyone's familiar with Zillow. They have something called a Zestimate. That's supposed to be their proprietary way of estimating how much someone's property is worth. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so accurate, right? Sometimes it sets an unrealistic expectation of what the property might sell for, right? And that's the Zestimate. And if you have an agent in your team that's just really good at explaining how the Zestimate works so that it benefits your relationship, your working relationship with them, so they continue working with you, you might want to set up a source rule so that for example, your Zillow leads go to your Zillow expert in your team. And the last example we have here is price, where you can set it up if someone's inquiring about a particular property, let's say over $1 million or $2 million, right? Maybe you want it to go to you first as the broker. And then anything below 2 million or 1 million, it goes to the rest of your group. Another way you can think about the price rule is, let's say you want to reward your top employees or maybe your most responsive employees. You can reward them for that month and set up a price rule to say anything over 500,000 goes to your top employees for that month. Anything below 500,000 goes to the rest of the group, right? So these are just some ways we can help you with your lead distribution. And it's all automatic. Once you set up these rules, you don't have to, it's very objective. It's just set up the way it is. And, once you train your reps or even get them to reach out to us and we can help you explain how these routing rules work, then it'll just be a lot more effective when you're distributing these leads to your team. Of course, there are other like millions or thousands of combinations of how leads should be routed based on your situation. So that is something we would consult you with when you reach out to us with our sales team to see if your particular workflow is supported with FiveStreet. We want to make sure that it works for you. Now, for a lead, what do they see when they go on Zillow and they fill out a form saying, hey, I need help. I want more information about this condo. It's going to send it from that lead provider into your FiveStreet, and they're going to get a response from your FiveStreet automatically that's going to say, hi, Jane, I got your inquiry about 123 Main Street on realtor.com. When's a good time to talk? Send your agent. So this automatic text message is going to automatically have their name in it. It's going to automatically have the website they were coming in from, and it's going to automatically have the property that they're inquiring about. So you don't have to manually put that into your text message. And what we've found, because it says or refers to these things, it makes that text message a lot more attractive to respond to, because a lot of people have short attention span. And if you just say, hey, you inquired about something with me, do you want to talk now? It's so generic, it's so vague that some people might forget that they were actually the one that was asking someone to text back to them to get more information. and they're gonna think you're just a telemarketer and ignore you, or worse, they'll block you, right? So with this type of messaging that we use here, it will help kind of jog their memory and kind of make it a bit more, give it that more personal touch for them to be more enticed to reply back to you. Now on your side, this is what you're going to see. You're going to get a text alert saying, hey, this lead, Craig Simino, was on realtor.com. This is his email, this is his phone number, and this is the property that he was looking at. It's going to automatically show you the price of that property, how many bedrooms, and then it'll give you a link so you can log into your FiveStreet to get more information. Now, it's a little bit different if you're part of a team. If you've bought multiple FiveStreet licenses, instead of showing that leads information right away, this is basically what you're going to see. It's going to have their name, but you'll notice here at the bottom where it says email and phone number, you can see that we don't reveal the entire email yet or the entire phone number. That's because this alert is being sent to everybody in your team, and it's only going to reveal this contact information to whoever hits this green claim button. So you don't want people stealing each other's leads, right? Because it's being sent to everybody. So it's only going to show the contact info to the person that clicks on that first. Once it is claimed, this is what they're going to see. It's going to show their phone number, their email. It'll tell them when they came in, what website, any notes that it might have come in, and if it was referred by anybody, any other agents in FiveStreet, it'll show you any referring agent. It'll also validate if their phone number is actually real or if it's like a spam lead, right? So it has some algorithm in there to check to make sure that you're not, getting a fake phone number, for example. The other bonus that it will do too is it will scour the internet and check to see if they have any social media accounts that has any public information that they've shared to the general public. So in this example here, they've shared that they're male, they're the director of marketing for their company, FiveStreet, and their work location here is in Washington, D.C. metro area. So this kind of gives you a little bit of a leg up, a small, tiny like icebreaker, so that when you read it and you call this person back, you can kind of have an idea of what type of person or maybe what type of properties they might be interested in. So if I'm looking at this as an example and I'm the realtor that's going to call this person, I can see that because they're a director of their marketing team, they might have an above average income amount. And because they work in Washington, D.C., most people want to live near their workplace, right? To minimize that commute. So I can kind of figure out, okay, in the Washington, D.C. area, the properties in there are probably realistically around $1 million, $2 million if they really want to be in that downtown core. So it kind of gives you that icebreaker, that leg up if it comes in. Just keep in mind, though, that this is dependent on each person's social media profile privacy settings. So sometimes you won't get anything, but if you do, I would think of it just as a bonus to help you build or nurture that relationship. Now, whatever property that they're inquiring about, it's going to automatically use our connection with the MLS board. And if we have the MLS number, we'll put it in there for you so you can look it up on your MLS website, and it'll pull in all the information that we can, like the price, the year it's built, square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, and so on. Now, I do have a question here from Suzanne. I'll get to your question specifically, Suzanne. I just have one more slide and we'll get to Q&A. So this last slide here basically says, if you do funnel your leads into FiveStreet, and let's say you're getting it from multiple sources like Zillow, Realtor.com, Lead Router, Coldwell Banker, for example, we have these performance insights to help you make better decisions as far as where you should put in your budget for online leads. Where is the most effective use of that money? So I'm just going to zoom into the first graph here that we see. So in these 3 months, how many leads have I received from December 2020 to February 2021? So if I'm a broker or even just a solo agent and I'm buying leads from Zillow, Realtor.com, and so on, I can see that most of my leads are coming from Realtor.com. So I might want to buy more leads from Realtor.com instead of Zillow. Right? So that's a better return on my investment, it looks like. And same thing with the second graph. It kind of helps you figure out your sales pipeline. So you want this closed bar here as the highest. That means you've made that much money already. But it kind of tells you how your operations is going. So if you're getting a lot of new leads and they haven't been responded to, right, then you can get on your team and say, hey, how come we have like 4,000 new leads that we haven't talked to yet, right? So they might have just forgotten to change the status, but it at least gives you a bit of an overview of your pipeline as far as your leads are, how your leads are coming in. So that's it for those performance insights. Now, I'm going to get over to Q&A here real quickly, but just to recap, FiveStreet allows you to consolidate all your leads into one dashboard. You basically beat your other competition on other websites because it'll respond within a minute. And it's personalized. As I said earlier, once you get a new lead and you're part of a team, you can send it to everybody in your team, and whoever's available at that moment will get that lead. It's mobile friendly. It'll give you some intel as far as their social media account it goes, and the property that we get, information that we get from the MLS. And I just showed you the reporting, the performance insights, so that you can make better decisions as far as your resources go. And it syncs and sends that lead automatically to Top Producer XCRM, for example. So now going to final questions here. If you have any final questions, go ahead and post it in the chat. But Suzanne's question says, is FiveStreet part of our Top Producer package? So the answer is yes or no. You can buy it on its own if you want. Let's say you don't need a top producer, you already have your own top CRM. You can get FiveStreet to help you manage those online leads. But it's better if you also have Top Producer too. You can bundle in your FiveStreet with your Top Producer package, and that's where sales will be happy to obviously have that conversation with you, so they can sell you FiveStreet. But yeah, it just depends on what you bought with your Top Producer package. If you really want, Suzanne, just post in the chat to confirm that you want someone in sales to reach out to you, so we can look at your package to see what you have and potentially add FiveStreet. Yeah, so Spencer, I don't have right now the ability to show my phone on my screen to demonstrate how that.
Hey guys, sorry, I think something might have happened to Dan's computer there. Looks like we lost him. Thankfully, we were, I guess, pretty much at the end of the show anyway. But yeah, guys, if you would like to learn more about FiveStreet, just feel free to reach out here in the chat before we fully close up. Or just feel free to email us at support@topproducer.com, and we can get you some more information. I'll put that in the chat here for you guys. So just support@topproducer.com. Feel free to also go to FiveStreet.com if you want to learn more about it right from its own website. So once again, www.FiveStreet.com. And you can also go to our support site at topproducer.com/campus. And there's a dedicated FiveStreet area there as well with lots of different support articles and everything. Yeah, so guys, that's about all we have time for today. But thank you very much for joining in for a little FiveStreet webinar. Always good to talk about lead conversion, about getting the most return on investment out of your online leads. We know you guys pay good money for those leads, right? And if you're a team leader, especially, I know that it's something that you take very seriously and that you want to be handled properly. And so FiveStreet can help you do that. It's going to make sure that your leads are going to be taken care of no matter what. Let's say that first agent doesn't get to them in the first 5 minutes, maybe the next agent will, right? So it kind of holds everyone accountable. You can have some really advanced reporting features through FiveStreet as well. So that way you can see what the average claim time is, what the average response time is, all that kind of stuff. And you can use that as you see fit to educate your team further, to kind of give, as Dan said, your best agents, your most responsive agents, maybe the better opportunities if you want. To at the end of the day, make sure that your real estate business is running as best as it can. Like I said, most return on investment, and at the end of the day, that the most people are getting taken care of for their real estate needs, right? And so that being said, guys, we're going to wrap up for today, but thank you very much for joining in. Like I said, feel free to let us know if you have any questions. Reach out through the live chat on topproducer.com/campus or send us an email to support@topproducer.com. We could get you some more information. So take care, everyone. Have a great weekend coming up. This has been Spencer with our customer success team here at Top Producer and FiveStreet. Previously joined by Dan Salcedo from our customer care team, our training specialist. Unfortunately, he just had a little bit of a laptop issue there. I think his battery died. It looks like he's actually came back though. So you might just be able to catch him just to say goodbye today. So I just kind of wrapped up the show here, Dan, and I just was telling people that they can definitely email us at support@topproducer.com. Go to live chat on campus to learn more. We have articles, videos, and I just kind of re-emphasized a little bit of the value of FiveStreet, and especially for a team setting, making the most return on investment there, especially for people that are paying good money for their leads. Absolutely, absolutely important.
Yeah, sorry guys, sorry about that. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us for today's session. I believe that some of you guys are from Top Producers CRM, so I appreciate you guys also joining this FiveStreet one. Hopefully, maybe you guys are more interested in FiveStreet now, or even online leads if you're not doing online leads yet. But hopefully, we see you guys in another webinar. Let me just go ahead and remind you guys how to get to our other webinars. So in case you guys want to check that out, it's just at topproducer.com/campus, and then you go to webinar schedule. And right now we're on the 23rd, so we're on the Simplify one. But next week, I recommend the one on Wednesday where it says 3 tips to improve your real estate lead conversion. So if I was a realtor, I love any type of feedback to become a better realtor, right? So even if they might try to sell me Top Producer products, but that one is one I would, that's the one I would probably recommend next to join if you've already been to the other Top Producer webinars already. Was there any final questions that I might have missed out on?
I think that's everything. But yeah, no, thanks again for everyone joining us today. Once again, I hope you have a great weekend, and hope to talk to you guys again soon. Yeah, real quickly, I see Brianna and Mohammed in here. So I'm going to give you guys a bit of a bonus content here. Let me just log into my FiveStreet and kind of show you guys around. If I can remember my password or not. Okay. What happened? Can you go in through the admin panel? Let's try this again. Okay, there we go. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, this is what it looks like. So the last slide I was showing you guys earlier about performance insights, if you do have leads coming in here, it's going to automatically show you how those leads are performing in your account. As you can see here, this is a test account that I have. I have 3, it looks like I have 3 leads from my website, 1 lead from this Top Producer source, and then I have 2 from in person. So, hey Dan, I think you may have just got a new lead there. Did I? Let's see what happens. Oh, David James. Looks like David James just came in. As an example, it came in through the real estate leads, and it's now being sent to my team here called All Members. And if I check that out, I've got 3 people on my All Members team. So everybody just got alerted in my team, and whoever claims it first gets it. So I just want to show you how that works. Let's say I'm the one that claimed it. I'll just refer to myself here. And then
Let's see what happens. Yeah, so there should be like usually there's like a claim button here, and then you pick it up, and you can even see how it's been routed. You can even check the actual email notification that we got from this lead source. So that's the actual email. And if you want to change your response, like your personalized text message, you just go to this response tab and you hit customize, and then you can change it the way you want it to look. If you're on a phone, this is what it's going to look like. Let me just kind of simulate what a phone would look like. You'll notice the FiveStreet dashboard looks slightly different because it's going to automatically respond to your mobile device screen size. So it's usually smaller, just like an app. Basically, you go in there, and let's say you want to change your or personalize your text message responder, right? All you have to do is go to the same spot, just like on your desktop. You go to the response tab, hit customize, and you can change that automated text responder that you're sending to your online leads. So it's really, really easy to use, very easy to pick up. But if you ever have any questions, definitely reach out to us at support. You can click on the chat button on the bottom right corner of your FiveStreet. So this little chat button here. And then you can just chat with us. We're open Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific. If you don't need an immediate response, let's say you just want a copy of your invoice or something like that, you can also email us at support@topproducer.com, and we'll be happy to answer you through email instead. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that quick little demo before I let you guys go. Otherwise, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and we will see you again in another session. Thanks, guys.
Thanks again, everyone. Have a great weekend.